So today we're gonna focus on our hand and feet movement. It's gonna be really important for us, especially for me in particular as a wrestler that utilizes his speed and power and explosiveness to really use my hands and feet throughout the entirety of the match to make my opponent uncomfortable. I know that the more that I move, the harder it is gonna be for him to keep up. It's gonna be hard for him to get a clean shot, and it's also gonna be hard for him to stop my shots. And so I wanna get off as many attacks as possible, but knowing that the more that I can shoot, the more that I can move, the more uncomfortable he'll be. And even if I can't get to my scores early, eventually I'll wear him down and I can get to my attacks late. And so when I'm wrestling, I try to really focus on a few parts of my opponent's body. Really his head, his triceps, his wrists, his knees, and his feet. Those are the parts of his body that I break down. And so I really split him in half. I'm a righty, so I use my right hand often dominantly, and then I sometimes try to come to my left hand to add a little deception and misdirection, trying to keep this guy off balance and not be so predictable. And so we're here, we're in our stance, breaking down his body. Number one is I like to start with his head. And so I'm going head, neck with both hands. And so I can move, slide, left hand, same thing here, always in a good stance. Next thing I'm coming tricep. So tricep follows the head. And so if I come off of the head, I go tricep, I'm pulling, snapping, turning. Same thing, left hand collar, right hand, pull, turn. Number three is the wrist. The wrist is coming to use my drags. I'm going here, same thing, controlling the wrist to my drag down. The body is my knee. If I can come to the knee, now I can move them, snap them underneath. Same thing here, knee, snap them, move underneath. And then lastly is the foot or the ankle. If I can fake here, keep this guy uncomfortable and off balance the entire time. So there's a threat in every quadrant of his body. So as I move, head, tricep, wrist, knee, ankle, eventually getting to some part of his body. The more that I can move and utilize my hands and feet, the better I'll be. So now notice that as I use my hands, I have to incorporate my footwork as well. So as I use my hands, I can't just stand out in front of him and control his body. I have to move my feet. Notice how my feet move through this process as well. As I stay engaged, pulling him underneath now, boom, my shot's open. So more motion, more movement. It's tough, it's difficult. You have to be disciplined and committed to your style. But I think that if you can do it, you'll definitely see the fruits of the hard work that you're willing to put in early. So wrestling match is 6 minutes. There have been so many matches in the first 2 to 3 minutes where it's a tie score. It's very difficult. We're battling, we're head to head. His will is still strong. But in that 4th and 5th minute, if I continue to move and use my hands and feet to keep this guy off balance, I'll eventually start to get to my attacks and see the scores actually start to pile up on the scoreboard. So one last time, we're breaking down his head, tricep, wrist, knee, ankle. Head, tricep, wrist, knee, ankle. And so all of this happens on both sides of the body, moving our feet in the process and in unison, staying in good head position, disciplined with our stance and our hands, and really working to get to our attacks. The more we move, the harder it is for him to shoot. The more we move, the easier it is for us to get to our attacks. The more we move, the more we score, the better we become, and the more we win.